Here are the 4 things you need to know about the Detroit Grand Prix. Number 1, it's in a new location. At the end of this video, I'll take you on a driving tour as they install the racetrack infrastructure, and I'll point out some details. From 1982 to 1988, Detroit hosted a Formula One race on the streets of Detroit in the same general area as the new race. From 1989 to 1991, CART used the city course. It had a reputation for being brutal. This was the RoboCop era of Detroit. The streets were poorly paved and did not hold up well during racing. By the way, there is an actual 11-foot tall statue of RoboCop that was built. It has yet to find its permanent location, hopefully soon. From 1992 to 2022, with some gaps in between, the race was held on Belle Isle, which is a beautiful Detroit park located on an island in the Detroit River. Roger Penske, businessman and racing owner, played a huge role. While the location is very scenic, it did not allow for lots of passing or racing excitement. Additionally, Detroiters hated that access to their summertime picnic area was limited for the weeks before and after the race, which takes us to 2023, where the race returns to the city streets of Detroit, trying not to inconvenience too many businesses along the way. Number 2, you can watch it for free. Organizers claim that 50% of the venue will be open to the public. Basically, with the track passing by public parking, plazas, and restaurants, people will be able to come downtown and get a peek at the races. The best seats and views will still require a purchase tickets, but it's a nice way to connect to the Detroit community. Number 3, it's more than just Indy cars. They're the headline race, but there's also Indy NXT, formerly Indy Light, Trans Am, and IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge. Lastly, it's an event, not just a race. What does that mean? I talked about the free viewing area. The track goes by Hart Plaza along the Detroit River. The weekend prior to the race is a techno music event held every year called Movement. They'll use that venue for some pre-race concerts, including ones by Steve Aoki and Big Boy. Organizers worked with food trucks and restaurants to create a festival-like feel to the weekend. Now let's take a look at the pre-race roads. Going to take you on a tour of this 1.7-mile track. We're going to start at turn 2, making a left turn onto East Jefferson Avenue. This is all asphalt through here, you can see. And to the left, that's the Sibley House. It was built in 1848, one of the oldest houses in Detroit. And that is Christ Church, Detroit on its right. That's the GM Renaissance Center, or the RenCen, GM's official headquarters, the big building on the left. And you can see as we approach this area, there's traffic merging on the left. That's a highway dumping into downtown Detroit, and that is going to remain open. So along here where you see this construction crew, they're going to be safety barricade. So on the left where you see that white Detroit police car, that's going to remain open to the public so they can access the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel, one of the major crossings into Canada. Cars can also come back from Canada into the U.S. and access the normal roads. The elevated train there, that's the Detroit People Mover, the much maligned Detroit People Mover, but it's a light rail system to get through the downtown area. So to the left here, cars will be driving, public cars, and they'll be able to turn left there into the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel, passing the Mariners Church there too. Now, I should say that they did an HD map of the entire racetrack using LiDAR to map it out. On the left there, that's the Fist of Joe Louis. That's a famous Detroit landmark, and that's a temporary pedestrian bridge over the racetrack. The simulation said that by the end of this straightaway, they'll reach 182 miles an hour. That is Hart Plaza I talked about earlier, where the music and other festivities will be going on. And up here, we're going to be heading into turns 4, 5, 6, and 7. So a tight area with lots of turns, probably not a lot of passing going to be going on in this area. You can see the surface here turns from asphalt to concrete. And that is Windsor, Ontario, across the Detroit River. The building we're passing here on the right, that is the Detroit Port Authority because it's on the river. There's a dock there for larger ships to tie up, either sightseeing cruise ships, which do go around the Great Lakes, or occasionally a military vessel or some other, like a Coast Guard vessel. Now we're going behind the GM Renaissance Center. So you can see there to the left, there are some restaurants. To the right, that's a Riverwalk area, kind of a nice area to hang out in the summertime. They do some concerts there occasionally as well. And since the river is off to the right, it is expected to attract boaters. You can also see that technically Canada is to the south of the city of Detroit. That's a kind of a geographical anomaly there, but yes, Canada is south of Detroit. Now up here, we're coming up to turns 8 and 9. I wasn't able to drive in there, but that is the pit area and the luxury suites. So the luxury suites play a big role in the revenue for the race. It helps pay for it. They've gone from 23 suites in the old race to 68, so going to bring in some more money. It is also a double pit lane, so cars will either pit on the right or the left. So I'm going to resume the race course here. That's going into turn 1, coming out of the pit area. And you can see this is all concrete, not exactly in perfect condition. But coming up this short straightaway, and we will end this video where we started, going into turn 2. Thank you for watching. If I will attend the event, but probably just the Trans Am and IMSA races. I like closed wheel racing better than IndyCar, just my thing. And maybe I'll throw up a video on that. And again, thanks for watching.